Hi, Elena with Stretchy Yarn Pilates Yard. Today we're doing a Ring of Fire workout. So find a Ring of Fire. I have a mat down, a thick mat down. If you don't have a thick mat, I would suggest putting a blanket down and then putting a mat on top of that. We're gonna do some Pilates inspired moves on the mat later with this. So I do want that padding so you don't hurt your spine. So if you ever feel like it's a lot of pressure on your spine, put a blanket down or another mat down. Or you can even double it up if we're rolling on our spine, depending on what we're doing. But you'll figure it out, I promise. So let's have this Ring of Fire in our hands. I'm gonna have us starting with our feet together. We're gonna reach the Ring of Fire down. We're just gonna squeeze it and release. Let's be a little classical at first. Squeeze, release. Good. So in these classical moves, I want to find my line. My ears are over my shoulders are over my ribs. Those ribs are balanced over the hips. The hips are over those soft knees, and the knees are over those ankles. Let's lift these arms up about shoulder level, squeezing and releasing, trying to feel even in the chest as we do this. So just squeezing and releasing, feet are together, trying to find this balance within, keeping these legs together. Good, now let's lift up to the ceiling. Now the ribs, I want them to face towards the hips. So don't let the ribs flare. Don't let those hips tip forward or back. Good, we got one more pass here. Now bend the elbows. We squeeze and release. Squeeze and release. So 3 different positions with our arms here. You either do it with long arms or you do it with bent arms. And all we're doing is squeezing and releasing, trying to think in our front arm line, it feeling balanced as can be. Good, now bring these arms forward, chest level, squeeze and release. So I'm trying to feel the left side of my chest and the right side of my chest is squeezing evenly in this Ring of Fire when I'm squeezing here. 2 more passes. 1 more. Bring our arms lower. Good. True classical style, our feet with me in our Pilates feet. Sometimes fascia focused me likes to change it up just so we can get a little bit balance somewhere else in our body. Good, 2 more. Last pass here. We're gonna bring this back behind us. With long arms, you squeeze the spring and release. This usually is like, I don't even know if I'm squeezing it. That's okay. Find whatever squeeze or attempt of a squeeze you can do with long arms here. So trying to find the plumb line, make sure that head doesn't tilt forward, keeping those ears right over the shoulders, shoulders right over those ribs, ribs right over the hips, hips over the soft knees, and then knees over the strong ankles. 1 more like this. Now, bend the elbows here. Squeeze and release. And try to keep this ring hovering from my body. A lot of flexibility. You got shoulder issues. I'm sure this is a little challenging if you ever have any rotator issues. This range of motion back here. No pinching, no pain. Really notice how you posture your head. That tightness might be coming from that area. 2 more. Last pass. Good. From here, as Ring of Fire goes to our hip, our palms on the other side, you just squeeze and release. Very classical with you right now when it comes to the Ring of Fire exercises. So let's just get through this classical repertoire and then we'll play with it a little bit more, yeah? So I have a long arm. This Ring of Fire is on my hip, however low that is. Couple more passes, trying to keep this Ring of Fire aligned with the floor or parallel with the floor. Good, 1 more. Let's bring the same pad to that same shoulder, or pad to that same shoulder, same side. Squeeze like we're tapping our head and then we'll release. Exhale. Nice and calm and steady as you move here. Really feel everything square off towards one another, especially the ribs and the pelvis. Find the calmness in the rest of the body when you do this. Last pass. We go to the other side. Let's go ahead and go to the shoulder. Hand on top, palm on top, not your fingers. You press down and you release. You press and release. Keep it going. Try to feel yourself balanced in the rest of your body as you do this. Exhaling as you press down, inhaling as you release. Couple more. Last pass. We're going to bring this Ring of Fire towards our hip. We're going to sit up nice and tall. You squeeze and release, as if you're juicing an orange in your armpit. Feel that upper arm bone squeeze towards the pelvis, and then slowly let it release. Couple more. 2. Okay. Since we're classical, let's keep going. Let's bring it in between our ankles. I'm going to have my left leg as my standing leg. So hands on the hips, I'm going to stand on my left leg. My right leg is hovering. Long leg squeeze and then release. If you need to hang onto a wall, hang onto a chair. Find something that is stable for you so you can control this exercise, or find as much control in the exercise as you can. Good, couple more passes. As you squeeze here, try to feel it even from the left and right side of the body, or the front and back side of the body as you squeeze. So my adductors, my inner thighs, I'm trying to squeeze, but really feel the front side of it, the back side of it, somewhat even in that inner thigh. Two more passes. Last pass, and we're gonna just get a couple of those fast twitch fibers. Let's squeeze here. Pulse, 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 pulse. Now keep this going. Find that strong standing leg. Good, now drop down. We're gonna go to the right leg and center myself up. Because I'm a Pilates teacher, and alignment's weird for me. Everything must be aligned. Tuck the pelvis, and you squeeze it, and you release. Good, nice and calm. And remember, so the inner thigh, those adductors, try to feel the front aspect of it, and the back aspect of it, even as you squeeze here. Think about that standing leg. Try to keep this hip somewhat over this foot. It's not really pressed out to the side. Try to stay stacked up. Somebody's pulling me from my front chest. Somebody's lifting me from the back of my head and letting me float up with gravity and using the floor as a good base, comfort base. That earth of ours, right underneath your feet. Good, 2 more passes. Last pass here. Good, let's come in, let's do little pulses. Find the calmness. Yes, we're going fast, but try to find that balance. Try to find that calm. Try to find the control. If this is sensitive on your ankles, you can always pat them up. Put a kitchen towel there. We have some superficial nerves there that sometimes are bothersome. Okay, come out of this. So I'm gonna put this in between my legs above my kneecaps. So sometimes there's smaller rings of fire out there that makes this a little easier. Same concept of the ankles, you really feel those superficial nerves. But if it's too much, you can try to move it around to where it works for you here. Now, I'm gonna square my pelvis to my ribs to my pelvis. Now from here, I straighten as much as I can straighten and bend. Exhale, straighten and bend. Good. So classical all the way with the Ring of Fire move so far. Nothing crazy, but we're gonna have a little bit more fun with this in just a second. Exhale as you squeeze. So these simple moves, especially if you did a lot more repetitions than what we're doing, you could fatigue the mess out of people, of your body. So being able to play with this, however you are good, however much your body can develop with this. Come down, little pulses up, up and up and up and up. Keep the squeeze going. Good. Find that line in your body. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good, come out of this. Whew, awesome. Okay, so this Ring of Fire, I'm gonna find something I can hang on to. I'm gonna scoot to the bar. You can always go to the wall. So I'm gonna bring this Ring of Fire on one of my Achilles tendon, the back ankle, and then the other side, other pad's gonna go toward my butt and my thigh meat. I'm gonna bring knee aligned up with the knee. So knees are aligned up from left and right side. I squeeze the ring and I release it. Squeeze it and release it. Squeeze it. Now keep this going. Square the pelvis and the rib cage off together. Think about those knees staying in alignment. Try not to let that thigh travel forward. Exhale, inhale, release. Exhale, inhale, release. Couple more. 2. Now keep the squeeze. We're gonna lift it out to the side, and then just a little bit more fun here. Side and down. Couple more passes. Exhaling on the up. If you ever lose it, just grab back onto it. We're gonna do the other side. I'm gonna turn the other way. So you put the pad on one of the ankles. You put the other pad where the butt and the thigh meet. Toes and knees are forward on the standing leg, other ones down towards the ground. You just squeeze and release. Make sure those knees are lined up from left and right side, next to each other. Think that pelvis is squared off to the ribs. Finding all these same alignment points that I say in every exercise. Exhaling as you close it. Inhale as you release. Couple more. 2. You're going to squeeze it. Now keep it. You lift it out to the side and drop it down. So work on those abductors, small group of muscles that make this leg lift out to the side. Try to find that right hip, my standing leg over that ankle. Few more. 2. Last pass here. Good. Let's come down here. We're going to make our way down to the floor with this ring of fire. I'm going to do a Joseph Pilates style. I'm going to cross my ankles, reach my ring of fire out. I always like to challenge myself. However I go into my cross, I like to do it the other way because it's usually my least flexible compared to that other side. And then from here, slow and controlled, find myself down to the mat. Now, once I'm down, I'm going to scoot myself to the middle. I'm going to reach my legs out. I'm going to hook one of my feet to the ring of fire on the pad, balled foot. Other hand, the hands on the other pad. I'm going to lean back and I'm going to be in the somewhat teaser position. I'm going to bend the elbows and then I'm going to release. Now my flexibility of my right leg. I'm just lifting it and I'm releasing it, but I'm doing it with my arms. So pulling myself and releasing. Upper body stays still here, but both feet are flexed. So a little active stretch, nothing too crazy. We just did standing stuff, so I really like to use Joseph Pilates style of working something and then working the flexibility when you get the opportunity. I'm making our arms work too. Now from here, bend the knee in and then straighten. Bend the knee in and straighten. Work on the alignment. Knee, hip socket. Couple more passes. Not letting your thigh bone roll out to the side or inward. Same goes with that shin bone or lower leg bones. Always starting with that foot too. One more. Bend it in and keep it. Now from here, the other leg, you've got to lift it up and lower it down. So the other leg is bent in the one with the ring of fire. We're lowering and lifting the opposite leg here. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Couple more passes. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. 2. 1 more. Now from here, bend it in and kick it out. Bend it in, so everything we were just doing, but now we're doing it without the ring of fire. So we stretch one side and then making that other side work. 2. Last pass. Bend it in. We're gonna switch it. Bring this leg down to the ground. So you straighten the arms, you bend the arms. Now think the upper back stays somewhat still in space. And it's your arms that are having to make this work. And then we just get this passive stretch that's happening in this leg that's hooked on the ring. 2 more. Watch that ankle alignment. Every joint, be aware of it. Last pass. Hold it up and keep it. From here, you bend the knee in and you straighten it out. So scour that hip socket. 47% of our flexibility is locked up in our joint capsules. If we can scour that out, it's going to trickle up or down that joint and affect other areas. So really trying to find it. If it feels all clogged up, go to that spot. 1 more. No, 1 more after this. Bend it in and keep it. The long leg now lifts up and lowers down. The opposite leg, the one that's not in the ring, is working. It is an exhales, that leg lifts, and inhales, we lower. Finding cool and calm in this movement for you. 2 more passes. Good, being creative with this. We're gonna hold it up on this next pass and keep it. Bend in, think the thigh comes to you, and you straighten out. Bend it in, exhale. Good. Ring of fires are awesome little tools to have. If I am traveling, this is something that comes with me. And oof as well. 2 more. Last pass. Press it out. Now both feet go in this guy. Now with our back, you bend the elbows and pull your upper back to you and then straighten the arms. So kind of like we started, but now it's the upper body that's moving when we bend and straighten these arms. Trying to find that balance, as you can tell, this can be really challenging, and you kind of got to just stay in the game. 2 more passes. Last pass here. Good. Now from here, let's take our feet out of the ring and control ourselves down. Okay, so as Joseph Pilates would give this to people for homework, if you had back pain, we're going to do this. Our sitting society, we're going to be rolling like a ball. We're going to scoot our bodies towards the edge of the mat. We're going to have this ring of fire in between our ankles. And then from here, squeeze these legs together. I want hands low, low to where that connection site. Keep your chin tucked to your chest. You inhale, rock back. Exhale as you come up. Inhale, rock back. So enjoy this. If you have a challenge here, try to find that point in your spine that you need a little bit more attention. Inhaling as you go back. Trying to keep yourself close and like a ball. Trying not to let these feet go far out or these knees open when you rock back. Exhale up. 2 more. Exhale up. Last pass. So the work we're at, I'm just keeping this ring. Straighten the legs. Grab on. Open leg rocker. Inhale as you go back. Exhale as you come up. Inhale as you go back. So we're going to do 2 different versions of these right after this. So finding this spinal massage for you. Feel the grace. Inhaling as you go back. Exhaling as you come up. You open your heart at the top. Still inhaling as you go back. Exhaling as you come up. 1 more. Good. Bend in our knees. We're going to bring this ring of fire in another position. So I'm going to have the pads hooked to the side, and then I'm going to squeeze this ring of fire in. So I'm holding it on to my bum so my pants don't slide this ring of fire. But my ankles are trying to stay closed. I'm going to tuck my chin to the chest. We're going into our rolling wall. Inhale back. Exhale up. Inhale back. Now, we have our hands on the ring, but I'm not trying to get a good grip to it. It's like it's barely there, just in case it wants to slide down, I won't let it. Trying to keep my legs pulled in, so there's an oval shape to the ring. 2 more. Exhale. Last pass. Good. Another variation of our open leg rocker. So we're going to have our feet on this pad, but we're going to somewhat try to go wide. So somewhat try to go wide. And then I'm going to sit up nice and tall. Same thing. Inhale back. Exhale as you come up. Lift the heart at the top. Inhale back. Exhale as you come up. Lift that heart at the top. Inhale back. Exhale as you come up. Lift that heart. 2 more. Inhale back. Exhale as you come up. Lifting. Last one. And then inhale, lift. Perfect. Now, bend in the knees. We're going to turn to our side. I'm going to face you. I'm going to bring one pad to one ankle above that ankle bone, and then the other foot ankle on the other pad. I'm going to lie myself on my side, but I'm going to do it Matt Joseph Pilates style. We're going to be on our elbow, both hands back behind our head. The legs are on the front corner of the mat. You squeeze them, you release. Exhale, squeeze, release. Now keep your toes and knees forward. Good, a couple more passes. Trying to keep the steadiness of the ring when you do this. So not letting it go forward or back, just letting it direct straight into the other leg. No lifting. 2 more. Last pass. Now we're going to bring both legs to align with our hips. So somewhere in the middle of the mat. So now we're long, we're in between 2 planes of glass. Toes and knees are forward. You squeeze and you release. As you can tell, more challenging. We don't have the stability of base of the legs going more forward. Be patient with this. Really notice both legs. Keep those toes and knees forward. Our femurs or thigh bones like to rotate around here, depending on our own flexibility. Work what you need to work. Be aware of yourself. Be accountable. 2 more. Last pass. Good. We're going to change this up a little bit. I'm going to bend in so I can help myself. I'm going to bring the pad down. I'm going to bring one foot inside that ankle again, inside the ring, and the other one inside the ring. And it's in the same position, aligned in the middle of the mat, and I'm going to find my side body. Now from here, I'm going to think, hold down the ring with one leg, lift my top leg, and then release. It's not going far. I'm just finding that resistance as I lift my top leg, inhale, release. So we're working that abductor, small little muscle group that makes this leg lift out to the side. I want you to think this lifts and it feels really stable in your hips. Your hips are trying not to rock side to side. You feel that evenness on that lift. Good, evenness in space. Last pass here. So let's make it a little easier for ourselves. We're gonna bring to that front edge of the mat, same concept. I'll lift up to that side body that's close to the mat. You lift it and you release. So giving you an easier version at the end here. Really finding that stability for you. Lifting, beautiful work, couple more. Lifting. 2 more passes. Good, we're gonna come out of this position. We're gonna go to the other side. No, let's not, stay on the side. Get your ring fire. I want both legs in that front corner of the mat. No, let's get them long. I'll get there, I promise. Lifting up to our forearm. Our body, this ring of fire is right in front of our chest. One hand is on the upper pad. You press down and then you release. You press down. So your body's in between 2 plates of glass. Your forearm is, the bottom forearm is on the ground. You're pressing away from that forearm, trying to have that side body lifted away in space. Trying to press this ring down, keeping it vertical in space, not letting it rock forward or back. Really keeping somewhat of a long neck in space. Good. 2 more passes. That neck is always in the same sequential line as the spine for the most part. If your spine is round, that neck is following that same round line. If your spine is long, that neck follows that same long line. That's what I mean by that. 2 more passes. Last pass, we're gonna press it in and keep it. Little pulses here. Pulse and pulse. Pulse. Find the stability of this ring of fire here. Lift the top leg. Good. Now keep it in. You're gonna kick the top leg forward. You kick 1, 2, point and swing it back. Perfect. So our side kick here, a little harder with that bottom leg being aligned with our body. Usually it's kicked forward, traditionally, but we got support with this ring of fire. So let's try a different muscle group. Exhale, inhale, point back. 1 more pass, keeping this leg aligned to the hip the whole way through. Good, now from here, let's go ahead and go to the other side. So I'm gonna swivel my legs to the other side. I'm gonna stay facing you. And we're gonna start with our legs first. So we're gonna bring the legs to the front corner of the mat. This pad goes to one ankle, the ring of fire is in between the legs, and we're gonna come up to our elbow, interlace our hands back behind the head. Now, from here, you're gonna lower that bottom leg and then lift it. Lower it and lift. Find the stability. Find your body, stay nice and long in between 2 planes of glass, especially the upper body and the hips. 2 more. Last pass. You're gonna bring this leg back in space. You're gonna do the same thing. Really press away from the floor, make sure the shoulder doesn't creep. You have that long neck. You press and you release. Exhale. If you need more support with that bottom arm, it can always be in front of you. 2. We're gonna work the different aspect of our legs here. We're gonna abductors. We're gonna go into our abductors. You're gonna bring the ankle inside the ring of fire. The other ankle, always above that ankle bone is what I mean by that.
on the other edge of the pad. Interlace these hands back behind the head, long in the upper body. You lift and you release. These legs are aligned with our body. Really trying to stabilize ourselves on our hip. We need to pad that hip up like we talked about at the beginning of this session. Feel free. Couple more passes. Good, 2. Last pass. Now, both legs are going to travel forward to the front edge of the mat. Nice long upper body. You're going to lift up and lower. Make sure that shoulder that's closest to the ground is down that spine. It's not creeped up. You're lifting through the side body. It's off that mat. Couple more. You could always do this laying down, by the way. Good. Couple. Last pass here. Good. We're going to bring this ring of fire in your hands. Now from here, these legs are going to be nice and long. We're going to press this ring down and release. You just press and then release. So we have our legs long with our body. That's a challenge in itself. But we have this kickstand of a ring of fire. And we're trying to press down with it being vertical. It's not making that ring of fire go at an angle. A couple more passes. Find that ultimate control. Same speed on the way down. Same speed on the way up. 2. Then we're going to do some passes with our upper leg lifted in space, aligned with that hip. You just press and you release. Good. Smooth and steady on your movements here. 2 more. Bring this top leg forward in space. Now from here, no, it's not, it's aligned. Top leg, yes, kicks forward in space with a flex foot, points with a pointed foot as you swing it back. Kick with a flex foot, 1, 2, points this leg as you swing it back. So you have a slight squeeze on this ring of fire as you move here. Think about your upper body, stay still in space. And as if that that top leg is the only thing that can move here. 2 more passes, exhaling as you kick forward. Inhale, point back. 1 more. And then inhale, point back. Perfect. Let's turn onto our stomachs. Using this ring of fire. Now, I told you it's going to be a little Joseph Pilates style. Let's do it. You're going to have this ring of fire. I'm going to hook my feet in it. It's not necessarily on a pad. The pad's in between my ankles, just if you want to be specific. My hands are on this ring of fire. I'm going to press my feet away and lift myself up into the shape position. Now, this is a little bit more challenging on rocking because it opens us up to a bigger range of motion. And I really like this arch, but let's rock here. You exhale as you go down, inhale as you come up. So trying to keep the shape. Our head stays in that sequential line, and it's our eyes that go down and up in this rocking position. Good. I feel like in our practice, we got to throw ourselves in these moves, especially the ones that you don't really like that much. I love this one, by the way. 1 more. Good. Put ourselves out. Take ourselves out of this position, and we're going to reach our arms and ring of fire up and over our head. The pad is down on the ground, and the hands on the upper pad. You have long arms. My head is down in between those arms. My arms are just settled in space. I'm going to lift my eyes, lift my head, lift my back, press down on the ring of fire to lift up, and then slowly release down. Lift the eyes, lift the head, lift the back, press down, lift up into a back extension, and slowly release. Again, inhale, lift the eyes, lift the head, lift the back, press down, and then release. Again, lift the eyes, lift the head, lift the back, press down, and release. 1 more, my friends. Lift the eyes, lift the head, lift the back. Press down with the strength. Press and press. We're staying in the back extension. Lift the legs. Think tummy sucks up off the floor. Good. We got 8. Nice and calm. 7. 6. Make sure it's not too nervy for you. Last pass here. Good. Let's release all the way down. Very nice. Okay.
I'm gonna come up out of this position. I'm gonna face you. I'm going to have myself seated, and I'm just gonna face you so you can see what I'm doing with my arms. Crisscross applesauce with the legs. If this is too much for you, you can always extend those legs out in front of you. We're gonna have our hands on the outside edges of the pad. We're gonna reach up to the ceiling. Now I'm gonna lean to my right, and then with my right hand, I'm gonna actually hold on to the inside of the ring of fire. With my right hand, I'm gonna pull the right arm down to the ground. So you feel that stretch of the left body. Come up. Other side, lean over, I'm leaning to my left hand pulls to the ground, and I feel my right side traction out. I feel that pull. Take a big breath. Always exhale here. Other side, lean on over, pull down with that bottom arm, take a big breath. Exhale. Good, other side. Come up, lean. Pull down with that bottom arm, that side that you're leaning to. I'm gonna actively stretch this a little bit more. Come up to the top. I'm leaning to my right. My right arm pulls down. I bend my elbows like I'm making a halo over my head. I'm gonna straighten. Again, you really feel that deeper stretch. Exhale. One more. Exhale. Good. Come up to the top. Leaning to my left arm pulls down to the ground. I bend my elbows, I give myself a little halo with this ring of fire, and I straighten my arms. Good, keep this going. Try not to let your chest roll forward or back. Somewhat like we're in between two planes of glass, that's not our intention. Come up to the top. Very good. Bring these arms back behind you, and then all the way forward. Whatever that range of motion is. Now, make sure your ribs try not to flare. When you bring these arms back, trying to stretch in that joint capsule. One more with our palms like this. Come in, let's change it up. Turn our palms, we're on the outside of it. Let's go back. I'm gripped onto these pads. Come forward. Good, go back. Forward. One more, back. And then forward. Good. So our upper body, don't think we're done. Our upper body, nice little quick stretch. We're gonna have our ring of fire between our ankles. I'm gonna fatigue your inner thighs out just so I get you a bit more. I'm gonna turn and face to the side. I'm gonna have my hands back in space. My fingers are turned back. You can have your fingers to the side. Actually, let's have our fingers to the side. Let's work on this. Pressing into your arms, sitting up here a little bit more. So we're not completely internally rotated, but I will say it sometimes energetically feels like we have a little bit more power there. So I want you to press up, find that power. Now I'm gonna walk my feet as close together as I can for my ring of fire. I'm gonna squeeze my knees together and then release just a little bit. Exhale, squeeze, and then release. Good. Find yourself even in the pelvic floor, pelvis, as you squeeze and release. Good. If it feels a little sensationful in those ankles, I'm going to say let it. Break up that connective tissue. Good, 2 more. Just as close as my feet are. I'm going to open my legs, try and keep my feet there. I'm going to bring this above my knees. Same thing. I'm going to walk my feet closer together. Squeeze the ring and then release. Good. Squeeze it. Find it work for you, however far apart your feet are. Definitely no more than 6 inches. Good. Exhale, squeeze. Good. Really working these adductors. Adductors are best friends with our pelvic floor. In turn, when they work, our pelvic floor works. Just how those muscles are best friends, are in the same chain. They're gonna be like, oh, okay, I'll grab one too. So I want you to find that. Since you know that sensation, exhale as you close it and feel that whole pelvic floor suck up to that diaphragm, up to your rib cage area. Exhale. Couple more. Exhale. Last fast. Close it and keep it. Pulse this. Pulse, 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 pulse. Push in those palms. Four, 3, 2, squeeze it on 1. Lift through that heart. 8, 7, get it to engage. 6, let it shake. 5, that's why we're doing it. 4, a lot of healing in that shake, especially here. 3, 2, when you think you're done, we're gonna do another 8 count. You're welcome, keep the squeeze. 8, yes. 7, lift to the heart. 6, find that comfortable breath. 5, keep the squeeze. 4, try not to lose it. Let your body shake if it's shaking. 3, 2, that's why I'm gonna trick you. We're gonna do one more 8 count, and I promise we're done after this. 8, good, squeeze more. 7, good. 6, it's a natural animal response to shake like this. It's great to break up deep fascial webbing, especially here in our pelvis. And then done here, release this. Whew, let's lay down on our back, soles of the feet together, open the legs out to the side. Because we made them work so much, they have to open up more. So let ourselves just relax and be open. I'm gonna bring the ring of fire down to the ground. Palms up, knees open. Feel yourself settle. It's feel gravity heavy on our body. And we've never had the sensation of not, unless you're an astronaut, you might have, not having gravity on us. But since we have this heavy, heavy, heavy comforting blanket of gravity, it's always there. It's always inconsistent in our life. Let's say thank you. Let's try to honor and learn how to move with it. And with our response to the earth properly. Being aware of how our joints like to move and trying everything we can to get in alignment. Alignment in our body, I would say, falls hand in hand with alignment everywhere else in our life. Our intentions, spiritually, mentally, physically. Let us strive to be aligned. Take a big breath in. Exhale, feel yourself just fall in. Feel earth comfort you as well. It's always there. Into your higher self, tell it thank you for always being there for you. Let it guide you and help you find your true alignment in every moment, every stance, trying to find your lift and your line. I'm gonna close my legs, I'm gonna come up and face you. Feel free to stay in that position. Let's close our hands and our heart. Close your eyes if you feel willing. Like we're screaming at the top of our roof on a mountain. So our higher power, whoever you want to talk to, even yourself, scream thank you for everything right now in this season of our life, but more importantly, this beautiful vessel of our body that we've been blessed with on this journey, wherever it's at. Thank you. I will see you next time. Thank you so much.